Hey everybody, it's Nicole, and I am back with another book review. Look at me, 2 videos, 2 days, crazy. So this week's, or today's book review basically is California Angel by Nancy Taylor Rosenberg. Um, it's another one of course, my grandma's collection that I am slowly making my way through, and it is different. Um, I would give the book, compared to the HRH, I would give it more of like a 3. It was good, but it wasn't like one of those other books that kept me on the edge of my seat for a while. California Angel basically involves this girl, or this young woman named Toy Johnson. Literally, her name is Toy. I don't know. And when she was little, she had like a heart problem, and her heart stopped beating for a little bit. And when it stopped beating, she all of a sudden seemed to transport herself almost in this different place. And she met a boy named Raymond Gonzalez, who was autistic, and, for years he hadn't spoken to anyone, he just made noises, he was stuck in his own little world. And so Toy comes in all of a sudden out of nowhere, and she just sits with him, and all of a sudden he sees her, and he calls her his angel, and all of a sudden he's talking, and they trade rings. She had a ruby ring, and he had just a little plastic pumpkin ring, because he's just a kid, and she's definitely older than him. And so they trade rings, and that is the only thing that Toy has to to really like prove that this happened, because then she wakes up all of a sudden, her heart starts again, and she's back in the hospital. And after that, Raymond, after she breaks through, Raymond is able to go on and live his life and become a painter and just, you know, um, break out of this bubble that he's in. So that's really good for him. Um, Going back, we follow Toy again, and, she grows up, she marries this handsome doctor, works at a school, and she's saving the children one by one. In her mind, she loves helping, and she just always wants to help. And her husband gets annoyed because she gets to the point where she's taking their money and she's giving it to families that he feels don't deserve it, that they could earn the money on their own. And, she's saying, no, they can't, you don't understand. And so there's a lot of tension with that. Um, Meanwhile, looking back at Raymond, we flash back to him. And Raymond is an artist. He lives in a loft in New York City, and he's painting, but all he paints are pictures of Toy. And he doesn't know her name, obviously, so he just says his angel. And his art dealer, agent kind of guy's like, this is great, but you need to pay something else. We have an art show coming up, so he's kind of annoyed, and he works at a restaurant, and makes extra cash, and he meets this girl, and she kind of looks like Toy, and he's like, oh, let me take you back and paint you, and of course she's like, oh, okay. But then he like starts painting her, and then he gets angry because she's talking, and it's very like little things start setting him off, and I don't know, he just shuts down again. And, she wants to leave him alone, but I guess he reminds her of her suicidal brother, and she can't leave him because she's afraid of the same thing happening. Back with Toy, her and her husband keep getting into fights. He finds out that she tried to give the money. He cancels the check. She's horrified. And basically, she she leaves the house, and he kind of keeps trying to give her an ultimatum, like, you divorce me or what, and he sits there and he feels like he has complete control over her, so he doesn't think there's any way that she would just leave him, and, she does, and she goes to her friend's house, and her friend's trying to persuade her that maybe she should go back, but then she's like, you know what, maybe you shouldn't, and it's hard because in her mind she knows that she's destined for something better, and nobody sees what she sees right now. So they go to New York, and as they go to New York, they're supposed to go for her cousin's, or her friend's nephew's bar mitzvah. And so she goes to keep her company, and, they're supposed to have fun, and all of a sudden her heart stops again when they get to the hotel. And the friends freaked out. Obviously, she knew this had happened, I think, before, but she didn't know what it was like. So when her heart stops again, all of a sudden Toy's in Kansas in a fire. She doesn't know she's in Kansas, but we find out she's in Kansas apparently. And she's in a fire, and she's saving all these children, and then she remembers putting one on the stretcher, and she's telling him, you know, the little train that could story to keep him like remembering he can do this, he can survive. And then, you know, she comes back to life. It's hard. It's different because, you know, again, nobody believes her, but she's so sure. And then she leaves the hospital, and they're like, you can't leave the hospital, and they're calling her husband down, and she doesn't want to talk to him, and he's obviously going to try to make these decisions she doesn't want to be made for her. And she's the only one that's like, my heart has to stop. Like, she knows that. And so I guess in another time, her heart stops, and there's a girl trapped in a well, and she's pulling her out, and she's saving her, and some men had kidnapped her and tried to rape her, and then they just push her away, and she fights them or whatever. So it's crazy to see that. Her heart keeps stopping, and she keeps going into these areas and helping children. And, you know, everyone's freaked out, and they're like, we need to get you a pacemaker. We can't have this happening. So there's a huge conflict with that. She doesn't want the pacemaker because she's afraid that her heart will never stop again until she, like, you know, dies. And then if her heart doesn't stop, then she technically can't go to these places and help the children. And along the way, she meets people. She meets police officer who helps her a lot, and, you know, there's other characters that she like talks to and gets to know, and, you know, then there starts becoming another conflict with the video footage of what's going on. They realize something's messed up, and, you know, it turns into, oh, this woman is so brilliant and all these people have seen her, but she's never there at the scene. And then it almost takes a turn for the worse when they start thinking maybe she's the one who caused all these issues. So that's a big thing. With Raymond, also their stories, again, intertwine by the end of the story. So it's an interesting book. It's not my favorite, to be honest, but, you know, it was better, in my opinion, than HRH was. So I enjoyed it. It had an okay ending. I mean, it was kind of like, oh, that's it. What? Um, just, I don't know. Everything felt so slow, and then all of a sudden the ending was like, boom, ending. And I was like, oh, okay. But so that was my review of California Angel. I don't want to ruin too much for you because I kind of give you like a huge background on it than I usually do. So definitely check it out. Yeah, I'm working on my next book now. It's already a little creepy, so that's your heads up. It's going to be kind of creepy. It's also a little bit, I think, set in the time of glamorous old Hollywood, I think. I'm not sure. I'm still getting the facts down on it. But anyways, thank you for watching this video. Thank you for, you know, just watching any of my videos. Really means a lot. Red Band Society episode I'm going to record tonight. I'm probably not going to be able to see it in real time. So hopefully I can get something out to you Friday morning if YouTube and my computer work with me instead of against me, and then I don't have to give you another update, you know, the day before. I'd love to get more TV updates out there. I don't know, every time I try to do one, How to Get Away with Murder, it just won't let me post it. Gotham, it's not letting me post it. This is really frustrating. So, excuse me. Hopefully I can get something else out for you guys. Thank you for watching again. Much love. Keep reading. Keep watching. Have a great day. Bye.